Hello, Joe.
Hey, Brad, how are you today?
I'm so happy to actually see you instead of a veil of fog from the cheap ass notebook you use. That
Nah, it's
is
just all those accountants
beautiful,
in the back room,
beautiful, Joe. Joe, not only with the beautiful camera, but the beautiful ring light and the beautiful Yeti microphone.
Yeah, that works great, by the way.
Dude,
This is
you sound and look you look marvelous, darling. Marvelous.
thank you. Um, but
Seriously, I'm
hey,
so excited. Woohoo!
yeah, me too. I was excited to set it up yesterday and all of that. So Mr. Frugal went out and dropped some money on some gear for Black Friday,
That's right.
and it's definitely works.
Cool.
So,
It's a big
um,
difference.
I got the
Hey, make sure.
Logitech
Are you on
webcam and
VPN?
this Yeti and nice light.
Yeah. Are you on VPN?
Yes, kill
You
it.
keep lagging. Yeah.
Yeah, let me kill it. Yeah, I'm gonna kill it right now. Hold on.
Cool. All right.
But
So
yeah,
it's
let
a
me
new
just
day. This is episode. Can you believe how long? 37? 38. This is episode 30 friggin' 8 of this show. Oh, Joe locked up. Hello, Joe.
yes, back. Yeah, the VPN when it breaks the connection, it just tanks me for a second.
This is episode friggin' 38, Joe.
I saw something the other day. I said 35, and I'm like,
fuck?
We've done this 35 times already. I was telling Buddy in DC this morning. Yeah, it doesn't feel like 35.
It's nuts. Yeah, well, you know what? Because we do this kind of shit all day long anyway prior to doing the show, so it doesn't seem that much different.
No, not at all.
Just two guys talking shit.
Yeah, trying to hopefully people can glean some alpha out of this, but it's kind of like, look, I was talking about,
or they're all just waiting and hoping we get wrecked.
Yeah, could be that too. I think you're right.
It's like spectator sport. Let's let these two fucking idiots lose all their money.
Yeah, that's what I think they think. But I'm so cautious that I'm not an all-in kind of guy.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm a trim.
I'm a little too far in on a couple of things, but I'm not all in.
Yeah. No, I mean, one thing I saw today I thought was kind of interesting was this Museum of Cryptoart. There's a good article here. What is it? Museumofcryptoart.com is the site. You could go with your
like
NFTs.
MoMA, but Mocha.
Yeah, you go in with the NFTs. They got a reward distribution system for, active projects. So anyone can go there and set up a thing. But lots of big NFT types are already in here. If you just go down the list. So I'm exploring on this. Look, ENS is here too. Interesting. See what's going on. I saw some people talking about it. I just saw it like an hour or so ago. But in my never-ending quest to figure out what to do with all these NFTs,
look, if you can earn on it.
Yeah, and then it's like a little museum. Let me go to the front page of this, just so we can. I'll go to collection. Permanent collection. Let's see if this one will load. These will take a little while. Oh, yeah, here we go. So, this is their permanent collection. Different ones that they've purchased, I presume. And then they have a community collection, which I think was this one. One of these wouldn't load. I think it might have been this one. But anyhow, it's definitely something worth checking out. I didn't find Searlight and those on here yet, but I didn't dig that deep. But, this just it's got a good grouping of NFT type art. And, you can usually see something that's to your taste. I'm not too big on all the kind of chaosy fractal stuff in this, because I think that's like 1995. But a lot of the other stuff I find very cool. So take a look at that, Museum of Crypto Art. Thought it was pretty interesting. Also on IDEX, which I don't know if people should remember this from 2018 timeframe, 2017, 2019. But, it was essentially, it's a DEX. It's been around for a long time, but it's driven from order books.
Right.
So very interesting. But the key thing is they're coming to Polygon. And basically on December 1st.
Wait, but aren't they their own chain?
Yeah. Again, I presume they are, but they're on a couple of different platforms right now. I think they're in BSC and ETH.
Okay.
But they're coming. But the key thing is go do a trade on there starting December 1st, because anyone who traded on SushiSwap or QuickSwap before November 9th is eligible for these rewards and airdrops.
Really?
So yeah, so I've done obviously a ton on both of those.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go in and just eat it and do a trade. And
so wait, you have to go. You have to go to. Okay, you go where to do this?
To the IDEX.
Give the people the
well,
the IDEX swap in. Click on their name and then find the link. No, not the coin. Go back. Click on the word IDEX next to the icon. There you go.
Yeah, December 1st.
IDEX.io.
Yeah. Hybrid liquidity DEX, order book plus AMMN1. And I think this is kind of interesting when we talk about sort of the problems with some of the DeFi stuff, the impermanent loss and different things like that. And then the cross-chain liquidity that everybody's trying to pull off, and omni-chain and between the chains and all that stuff we talk about. This, I think, might get some traction because it seems to have some advantages that others don't. I figure why not jump in and get some free stuff. So get over there on the 1st and do a trade.
Yeah.
And, you can find a lot more here on CoinGecko if you want. You can see it's been around for a while, but this is still did 669% return over the last year.
Nice.
So that's just a little free money, I believe. And then this one, this is the follow up again on the Uniswap thing. This was about this. I guess this guy is the Uniswap guy, and talking about moving Uniswap v3 over Ox Polygon. So again, take a look at that because something might be happening there too.
Right.
And then I heard something about Zigzag Exchange from some people I trust. I haven't really gotten in, but I think there's another airdrop coming here, ZK Sync, I believe. So dig in on that one too, just to kind of see what's going on. But I think they're advertising cheap swaps, cheap costs. There was that little blurb yesterday, I think, when everybody's going, "Oh, Avalanche is so expensive," and I'm like, I was in it today doing stuff for like 40 cents. You know? So to me, I think that was just a little glitch yesterday when everybody was piling in.
Right.
But, also remember these, gas fees aren't tied to, it's not a dollar value thing of token. It's a digital amount of token.
Right.
So when price goes up, obviously gas is going to go up. So, just when it's moving a lot, you're going to see things like that. I mean, conversely, today Phantom's up and, Avalanche is down a little bit. So
right.
I think it adjusts based upon that because now it looks like, Phantom is and Polygon are kind of still the cheapest ones out there. Now, too, I got into this Unis DAO this morning and
you bought into it.
Yeah, I'm so pissed I missed the pre-sale. The pre-sale was at 4. It listed at 12.85 and opened at like 70. So
what'd you pay?
72.
Nice.
So I just bought
horrible.
a couple. Yeah, I just bought a couple. I bought like 1.7 and I didn't mint anything because minting's not there yet. But I got in with a 1.00 index. I was like one of the first people in and it's dropped. But this number here, you can see this. Okay.
Yeah.
The 5-day rate was like 80 trillion or something to start. The rebase reward yield was like a 1,200% on the first rebase. Of course, it cratered before the first rebase, but
that's freaking hilarious.
But this is one BSC. It's a complete copy of the other ones, so it looks pretty secure. And hell, you get in right away. And then a little volatility. This thing should start running. And then I also have been in Fort. I just pop this over for a second. And with this one, I kind of got in when it was just out yesterday, the day before. I think it was like, 170 or something like that. And I got some minted at like 130. And then there's a lot of selling because, again, that went from like 20 to 180 in, 4 hours. So now I'm just kind of adding little bits as the day goes by. when it's dipping. And, again, another one. They
what
got
chain
a
is this on?
This is Avalanche.
Okay, good.
So they got a partnership with Time Wonderland. There's talk about some bonds coming over here into Fortress. And once that happens, you're going to see all the timies come rolling in too. The time whales coming into this, because Time's trying to be a central player in all of these on Avalanche. So
yeah, hey, our buddy calculator guy called out Daniel, the developer of it, yesterday. Let me see if I can find that series of tweets. Keep talking about what you're going to talk about. Let me find it.
So this looks, again, it's another one, but you don't have to do anything with these. And that's what I kind of like. It's sort of all of a sudden I have all this free time on my hands.
Yeah.
And, and I just put the alerts on my phone and, wait and see what happens. And if it dips enough, I just go buy a little more.
Right.
But again, these are early and, I missed all the other stuff early. So these are ones I'm just going to sit. And again, I think I started with a couple $100 or maybe, 500 in this one. And I think Unis, I only threw in a couple hundred just because it's my first experience on BSC.
Right.
And so, who knows what's going on. But, we'll see what happens. They put some good stuff out, some videos and things to explain it. But there's so many people that don't even get the 3-3 concept on BSC that are asking all these questions coming in. They just don't understand it. And so to me, I'm kind of like, that might play pretty well over there because of all the retail guys. So, two ones I like, on top of all the other stuff. I don't know if you want to do the, well, I got this up. Let me just get all the Avalanche stuff up.
Okay.
I'll just sort these out real quick. Blizz has been crushing it lately. Snowbank, I don't have this one right now. No. We did Ford already, and there's Snowdog Watch, which wasn't really working today. I
just was trying to load it. I don't think it's loading.
Yeah, it was. I got the price in now. Yeah,
price is down.
Yeah, but what are you looking at? 1456?
Yeah, 25% from 2 days ago.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it. I think once the well, let's get onto that page.
We got about 48 hours for the big day.
Yeah, what I think happened is that some people are redeeming. There's a discussion going on in another thread that as in the race to dump kind of thing. As long as you dump first, you'll be okay. But with this one, I just haven't seen this mechanism as an exit yet. I don't know if you've seen it anywhere.
No.
And so that's why I only threw I threw 500 to start, and I think I'm maybe I'm around $1,000 now, but I'm like, why pull it out now? I kind of want to see how this works.
Me too.
Because I don't think it's a big old, rug ripoff. I just think that
they're making it very clear how they're doing it, right? It's like, look, we're gonna sell and burn. I mean, look, they could rug it and just take the money, but I don't think so. I think they're gonna finish it because they're sitting on a stack themselves, right? And they'll know, and they'll dump on it. They'll be the first dump because they'll know exactly when it's happening. But unless they randomized it in the script in the smart contracts utilizing like Chainlink or something, they're probably going to know when they're going to do the buy and burn, and so they'll get theirs out first. But the rest of us can dive in. The question is timing. It's just like, what the fuck. Yeah. Thanksgiving dinner is going to ramp up around 5 at my mother-in-law's house. This thing the clock starts ticking at 3, and they're obviously not US based because they wouldn't be doing it on Thanksgiving unless that was calculated to let's get most people not paying attention. Who knows? But I don't know. It's interesting.
But even if they're going to dump, you're not going to be the first ones out the door. You're going to be they're going to be gaming it the same way because you're going to want to, it's going to make them want to do one big buy to blow the price wide open. And then they're going to have their fingers on the sell trigger at that point. So,
right. But here's the thing. Here's the gotcha. If you're not the seller at the moment that they're the buyer, there may not be any buyers.
Yeah,
there may not be any liquidity.
But then it jumps to this meme coin, which is going to be out there.
Yeah.
So that would presumably have some value.
I would hope so.
Is my read. And I wouldn't think, like, if I was Snow Dog and I was trying to maximize my exit, I would be trying to keep the price up there.
Of course.
As best I could, because look, if they're in at zero basically, so or a penny, however you want to calculate it.
What's the total market cap right now on the token? Let me pull up. I had it open. Now where the
TVLs, they don't really show market cap on this one because it's got this exit mechanism at the end, but the TVL is 76 million.
Right. So if they're buying, treasury dumped.
No, it's just not loading all the other values. That's just MIM. That's just MIM.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. So they're going to dump all of this, the AVAX, the SPEL, the Joe, the ETH, into MIM. Right. And then they're going to use the MIM to buy as much as they can of the 5,000 Snow Dogs. Right. So this is the liquidity pool right there. There's 8 million in it. So of MIM, or 7.39, sorry. And then, you got another, 22. And if these numbers are pretty big. I mean, this is another 50 million, I think. Well, if it's 76 million TVL, it's another 54 million right here.
Right.
So, I think the incentives are aligned for them. I mean, why not do it except you're going to be front run the shit out of by somebody, but
exactly.
I guess you would break it down a little bit, but I want to push that price up if I'm Snow Dog principles.
Yes.
And then exit somewhere along the way. But, maybe can you ladder exits in this in any way? I mean, it's not anywhere but Trader Joe's.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has like limit orders on it.
Yeah. But that's just going to be fun. So it's an experiment in my mind. Let's see how it works. It's kind of like, when we were all talking game theory on chain binders. Yeah. We're still waiting for that end game to see what happens. And you can see what happens. Some people hold, some people go. So in this situation, I think people have been selling a little bit just because they're uncertain what's happening next. But still, this has been going around. This has been like around here to, was it as high as 2,500? I can't remember.
No, I think 21 range.
So right in that range, 500-600, 25, 30% swing. Again, I'm curious to see what happens tomorrow on this. Does this, because people could still buy it. So, I'd be curious to see what the volume is on Trader Joe's buying Snow Dog today and tomorrow. But, it's going to be interesting. So again, I figure I'm going to get out with whatever I put in and maybe a shitload more.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me right now. And
even if it's because it's fun.
Yeah, even if it goes the other way, who cares?
Exactly.
And it's, I'm still here over in Snowbank. That's kind of been, that was down a little bit. Yeah, we're down to 2,600 here. I think I was buying some when it was down to like 1,700 last week. It dipped pretty hard, so I'm not worried. I'm still fine there. Blizz was at like 40 cents last week. It's at $1.85 now. So, this one's moving. It's spinning me out like 1,500 a month or something like that off of, now I've got like, still less than $1,000 in the liquidity pool.
Fuck.
So, this is one that everybody
I still have not fucking looked at this. You would think I had you bring it up every goddamn day and I still haven't taken a look at it.
Well, it's a Geist clone. And the Geist guys over on Phantom were involved in the development of this. The teams got together to do this on Avalanche.
What's the web address again? Blizz.finance?
Yeah, blizz.finance. And, you got everything over here you want.
So tell us again what you're doing there.
Well, I just have a little bit of deposits on here. I mean, this is like an Aave type thing, where you can stake and borrow against it. I haven't borrowed. Aave is also up on Avalanche. So honestly, if I was going to do a big stake a bunch and borrow, I'd probably do it on Aave.
But you're not doing any borrowing. You're just doing staking.
Just staking. But I did park some DAI on here just for the rewards because, look, you're getting, 20% right here. on you're getting 8.25 and you're getting another 12% rewarded in Blizz. So
now I understand.
I just did that to hold it there versus just leaving it sitting in the wallet,
Yeah.
And so, but what I'm really doing is, well, you'll see my positions. I don't care. I've got less than, I've got this pool staked up. I mean, I started in this with like a couple $100 and now it's like up to 800.
Nice.
But, look at the yield. The staking APR is 24.30. So,
sweet.
Used to show how much I was getting every day, but I tend to get like 40 or 50, Blizz a day. So I'm not actually, this is a 1 dayer right here. So 35-ish, but still, that's like $65 worth.
Yeah.
So when you vest, then it goes over into, like Geist, you have these sort of vesting areas where you could single stake for 175. You can lock it for 90 days for 1,400. But anytime you claim off liquidity pools, you just, it gets into these vest sections. So I'm just doing here what I did with Geist. But, what's pretty interesting too, I don't know if people understand this part, but you also get all these platform fees. So, you just pile these up and then, you claim them once a week. And so, I find, that's another 20, $25 a day, just like with Geist. So, there's a lot going on these platforms.
So are you dumping those back into the pool?
Yeah, I don't sell any of this. This. Yeah. I just, when you claim all of this, it just ends up kind of automatically back in your deposits.
Oh, nice. Wait, so it converts to Blizz AVAX for you and then it's
no. I mean, it just shows as a deposit on the platform. So once you claim, like on Geist, it's just sort of sitting there on your, your dashboard right here.
Oh, it just shows that you have it.
Which shows different. Oh, these are deposits. It's not showing the other stuff.
So you're not compounding it in. You're just kind of keeping whatever you're earning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going back into the LP.
Okay.
But it's a good one to, to earn on. And so, this is like with Geist. I kind of look at this as like, hopefully this launches a successful or a big start to next year, a Q1 play, because all this stuff on Vest, for me, the Geist, January, February, March, this is going to be right around that time period. So I'm just kind of stocking up these vests on these two platforms in case they hit.
Yeah.
So remember with Geist, I pulled out of the liquidity pools over there and, because I hit my target of how many I wanted, which was, right around 5,000. And I got there. So now I just pulled out liquidity pools. I let that stuff ride and I wait for the unlocks. Nice. I'm trying to do the same thing over here. But they're just kind of deferred strategies. So you're trying to get the proceeds later,
right?
Kind of vaulted, so to speak. You can always pull down the vested stuff anytime you want, but you take a 50% haircut when you do it. So if Blizz went to like, $35 overnight, I would suspect there'd be quite a few people in there pulling those down. But the interesting part is that, and I haven't done this here, but when you, see it says 50% penalty. So if you pull that down and take the 50% hit, that 50% then goes to everybody who's got Blizz locked.
Ah, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's why
kind of like the Chainbinders NFT burns.
Yes. So I don't have any locked here, but I do on Geist. But it's just, there's a lot of ways to play it. And if they succeed, you make out like a bandit. If not, it's really just rewards that like I have on Geist at this point.
Right.
My investment stuff's all gone at this. I pulled it out. So just doing the same thing here, kind of like, just going to one, building up a stake, and then moving my capital to the next one.
That's awesome.
Some might call that mercenary. I call it business 101. So, de-risk when you can, let the house money ride, and go on to something else.
Yep.
So, that's kind of the interesting stuff to me right now. I don't know if anybody saw the ETH chart today, but it was pretty good if I remember right.
I haven't. I have been on the phone since I started the day, just like yesterday. It's like non-fucking stop. Yeah, we're at 43.38 right now, dude.
Yeah. So look,
it's bouncing nicely.
It's a little European buying here.
Time to turn the bots back on.
Here comes the Americans, and now we'll see what happens at 7 tonight when the Asians kick in. So I think we're in good space here. But the only thing that throws me off a tiny bit is this one, now, okay, we're looking good. So remember, I told you well, no, a lot is left. Okay. So yesterday it was all inflows into ETH.
Yeah.
BTC was outflows. So now we flipped the script. Now ETH is leaving the exchanges again. So that's a good sign, because you would think people would be pouring in now to sell, and they're not.
Right. They're not. That's good.
So
that's awesome.
I think we're in good shape here all around. Maybe it's, Powell's nomination. The money printers are going again. So, keep that U.S. stock market propped up for us, guys. I don't care if the PE's 87 million. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
And, everybody should do okay.
Hey, let me bounce something off of you. I talked to a project yesterday. A platform that allows for markets to be set up on it, but they have full regulatory compliance in Europe, and they've set up the ability to basically buy and sell securitized stocks, commodities, whatever. So like some guy who's big in the nickel industry, no pun intended, set up a marketplace for nickel. But they've got Tesla, they've got what's that woman's name that you know? Yeah,
Kathy
ARK.
Woods? Yeah.
They've got ARK Fund represented. They got a bunch of other stuff. So it's a cool concept. And he's like, I was just chatting with him yesterday, and I said, here's what I don't understand is why he's on BSC right now, but he's not like treating it like a DeFi play, right? Mm-hmm. He's kind of like treating it like this private thing with people. And I said, what I don't understand is why you aren't diving headfirst into Polygon and Avalanche and Phantom and making these available cross-chain from a pool of these securitized stocks that you have so people can actually trade it. I said, you could partner with DEXs, et cetera. He said, well, I wasn't sure people in DeFi would want to trade these things. So let me ask you a question. Is that something that you would want to trade? Would you want to trade, be able to trade some stocks and funds and commodities in the DeFi interfaces on the exchanges you're on, so you don't have to mess with loading up the EF Hutton account or whatever?
Well, I think people don't really pay for trades anymore. I think, on other than indexes perhaps and things like that. So, but I know it's buried in the bid-ask spread. So you still really pay, even though you think you're not. And I remember
I left something out of the picture. The other part of the picture is the tokens can then be staked.
Yeah.
The securitized tokens can then be staked in yield farms for his token. Forgot that.
Well, see, no, I do. That's what I do find interesting. So, okay. So you can't look I guess the only way, I always think of let's just say the GE, let's just say Tesla, the Tesla US dollar on wherever they are, NASDAQ or NYSE, to me, that's a liquidity pair.
Right.
So, but once you buy, there's nothing to do with it. Yeah. Other than it's just can sit in your wallet basically in spot and go up and down. You can't, you could deposit it somewhere and I guess probably borrow again. Well, I know you could do it with other ones. I guess you could probably still do it with Tesla. I don't know what if you could get more than 50% on it, maybe. I don't think you get 75, but no. It's so volatile. But if you could do something like that, these synthetics, and then take the token and stake it somewhere else for yield, then I think that's very interesting. I was, I was on Binance all the time until they, shut us all out last month. But, they had those, they had Tesla on there, and they had a couple other stocks, one or two or three, but then they shut that down because, of course, SEC was furious and, they're in the gun sites already. So they kind of took that down. But that was just, you buy the synthetic and it goes up and down. I don't think you could stake it. So to me, if you're in a jurisdiction where you could set up that platform, I think it's something pretty interesting.
Yeah, me too. And that's what I was trying to tell him. I'm like, look, you're missing out on the potential of all of these users who are trading, loving the idea of being able to also buy stocks, but also then be able to kind of dive in and yield farm against them. So they're earning, and there's a lot less volatility with those stocks in most cases than with the tokens.
I mean, if you think about it, yield farming is sort of like earning dividends on a stock. I mean, I kind of look like the platform fees on Blizz and Geist. To me, that's like a dividend.
Right.
So if you could, would you buy the Tesla stock and then somehow park it in this platform, or would you just buy the synthetic?
Okay. You buy the synthetic. It's actually not a synthetic. He actually has the mechanism buying these products, right? No. Like it's actually happening. That stock, they're going through and acquiring it and holding it digitally for the people participating.
So they have so they have the physical, not the paper.
Yeah,
I'm saying they have the actual stock too.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting, because then you make sure you have exit liquidity, which would be, could be the issue. But I think if you can, let's say an individual could come over with some Tesla and deposit it.
They don't do that yet, but
okay, so he could.
And I think the mechanism for that is difficult, but people can buy it directly from him.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. No, I think look, I think there's this whole, how much is in the stock market? It's got to be 50 trillion or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen large, not counting derivatives, giant numbers. If all of a sudden you could bring that capital or representations of that capital into DeFi, I don't need to tell you what happens then.
Yeah, and stake it and earn yield against holding a stock, please. It's like,
well, because then you could take your rewards and go buy ETH or BTC.
Right.
You can diversify. That's an easy way to diversify into crypto if you're kind of a normie and don't know a lot about it. It'd be great if you could get an affiliation with someone like a BlackRock or somebody else, an asset manager type, to where they could vet it, co-brand, funnel into it, something like that to get that capital moving. But I think Americans are dying for more yield right now. And I think if you throw like GE in there, I don't know, GE's that's such a legacy one. I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I think they're breaking up. But if you throw Apple in there, Tesla, things like that, Amazon, and all of a sudden, it's a brands that people recognize.
Yeah.
And then also if you're a pure crypto person, you come into there and then you buy those representations, then you're getting US equity exposure as well. But I think most importantly, the tech stocks that aren't paying dividends, those would be brilliant, because then you're getting dividends basically.
Right. And then the other side of their model is, do you have a commodity that you're a broker for or something in the market? Guess what? We can securitize that for you. Right. So they're doing stocks, ETFs, commodities, and then you can do private assets and have a marketplace set up for like a vertical if you want.
We should. You remember those guys, those energy trader guys that I was dealing with in Houston? That would be a good match for them, because they got some crazy stochastic stuff going on and wave theory things that are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That would be a good fit.
All right, here's what they've got so far. They got the gamut: Alibaba, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Indo International, GameStop, Nike, Square, Tencent, Tesla. That's on the stock side.
Oh, you can't see it on the screen? That's your screen, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to disclose the site yet.
Got it. Cool. All right.
And then they have a listing of, 12, 15 ETFs. They got Goldman Sachs Gold ETF. They've got iShares Gold Trust. So, this kind of the real deal.
Looks like it. Send me the link later on so I can check it out.
Yeah.
Because that's something I could think of, like a half dozen people right now in New York that would be interested in this.
Nice. And the cool thing is you're trading in with tokens, right? You're not trading in with the debit card or the bank account. You're trading in with tokens.
Yeah, so you're not leaving a big.
And then when you sell, you're getting tokens back.
Yeah, that's the thing with trading accounts and bank accounts and stuff like that. You just don't want everybody to know what you have. And so when you put data in other platforms, you got to remember that's there then, and people can figure it out.
Yep. So
Are they, just out of curiosity, are they in a KYC jurisdiction or not?
they are not. They are not.
Okay.
I meant because when I talked to him, I'm making an assumption. I'm doing another call with the guy tomorrow, but when I said DeFi and just coming in and signing in with wallet, he didn't say anything. So I made the assumption that it was no KYC, but I should check. Real quick, the high for Snow Dog, yes, so far was 23.36.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't feel bad about that.
Quick update to everybody on my buddy that I talked about yesterday with his wallet problems. It's gotten worse while we were on the phone yesterday afternoon. The hacker took the last bit of ETH he had in his wallet. We were hopeful that it was just kind of a user error, but not looking like that. So he's out about 100 grand. So secure your shit, run malware scanners. Don't let people see your seed phrases. Don't keep them digitally. If you can afford it, get a ledger. This one's $175. But keep yourself safe, people. We're still working with some white hat guys to try to see if there's any way to secure it, but it's not looking good.
Yeah.
So
what I recommend too is one device and do everything on one device.
Yeah.
And don't cross platforms and change browsers and things like that. Do it all on one browser, one device that nobody else can access.
Yep.
And like Brad said, do not, I don't print out the seed phrases. I don't copy and paste them into anything digital. The only thing I ever do is write them down and stash them somewhere that's away from me.
Yep.
So nobody can get at them. And then if you ever need it, you can go get it. And then like Brad said, also, I also recommend the VPNs. I mean, that's why I run them, just because, you double hop, quad hop VPNs where, the end people don't even know where or who you are.
Where you started, yeah.
The ISPs don't know what you're doing. Nobody knows what you're doing.
Yep.
And it just keeps these bad actors off of you.
Yeah.
So that too. And then like Brad said, ledgers, nano kind of things. And then there was one other thing, obviously just try to keep your holdings as close to vest as you can so you don't become a target inadvertently.
Yep.
And use those cold storages. I mean,
yep.
And central exchanges, be careful on those too.
Yep.
It happens, but it's part of the game, unfortunately.
I'm going to have Eva from Mechanism Capital on in a couple of weeks, a big player in the crypto investor space. And she's got a really great doc up on, if you're into gaming, metaverse stuff, really great analysis of the gaming / crypto market, what's coming sooner than later. Talks a lot about, the initial play is get paid like Axie, but look at Axie's dropping engagement levels. Because they're in kind of a recession on earnings for players. So if you're looking at gaming protocols, you're looking at gaming investments, this is a really good piece. It's called The Financialization of Fun Crypto Gaming Thesis, and she's really smart. She did I asked her on because she did a piece a couple of months back on liquidity. She said actually her thoughts on liquidity are changing and evolving, and she's working on that. So we're going to get together in a couple of weeks and chat about that. She's going to be on the show. She's really brilliant. And what else I love is, look, it serves them to have content out, but I love how much of their thought processes these really smart investors do, right? And they drive a lot, right? Sometimes they can drive the whole trend, but this thinking is really smart. So I encourage you to take a look at the other content that Mechanism puts out there. They're a good group.
Yeah, I see that says there's a thing on her site about, why we're invested in Pleaser DAO. So they are taking DAO positions too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is good.
No, absolutely. They probably don't take anything but tokens anymore.
Yeah. One thing I was going to tell you, I was, talking about gaming and NFTs. I don't know where it was, but I saw something on Time Wonderland and their future plans. And, the amount of where they're investing their money, I mean, they really are investing to be the gaming token, basically.
Yeah.
And you see, there was a chart, maybe it was in Twitter or Reddit or somewhere, that showed, all these different spaces they're investing into. So, even though I pulled out of Time the other day just to do it because up 3X to do other things, when these things pop like Snow Dog, I mean, I'm back in time at that point. So
Yeah.
that is a tech company just like Olympus is.
Yep.
So don't miss that. And don't be afraid of the, 9,000, 8,500 price tag. Just go in and, scale in gently.
Yep.
Because you're going to rebase constantly. But that is a big play in this same space that, what is her name again at Mechanism?
Eva,
that Eva's talking about on her,
Yeah.
Crypto gaming thesis, fractional algorithmic bank, how large is the market for NFTs? I'm on their website. Art and science of native token liquidity, yield guild games, investment thesis, why we invested in Pleaser DAO. I mean, those are all the right places to be right now.
Yeah. And they're really smart. And she admits that the funny thing is the firm is invested in yield games in this game, Yield Guild in this gaming thesis she's put out. She actually says that there's some real risk for Yield Guild's model because 40% of the Axie Infinity players are people in the Philippines trying to earn a living, and when a recession in earnings drops, when there's a recession in earnings in game, they're going to lose those people, and in turn, Yield Guild's going to lose their revenue that they gain because they put up the money to buy the initial NFTs. I'm not a big fan of this. You got to spend $5,000 to play the fucking game to earn money anyway. I think it's a bad model, especially for people that, look, in the Philippines, you can live well on $350, $400 a month. Maybe it's 500 now, but it's a bad look. It's like, look, let people earn their way in with gameplay and or buy in. Anyway, celebrating today because eToro is dumping Cardano and Tron. Couldn't happen to two bigger pieces of shit. So I'm very pleased about that. Sorry. I know I see you cringing.
No. I have no Cardano anymore. Of course, at one point I had tens of thousands, if not more, but of course, I sold it all down. I still have some Tron, but it's, I got to go through the process of figuring out how to get it the hell out of the Tron wallet. I think I know how to do it, but hey, kick those guys out of the top 10. I was so glad the other day to see the dog coins get kicked out of the top 10. I don't know if they're still out.
I don't know.
Kick those fuckers to the curb. Get these dogs out of there too.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Tron, you won't be anymore. Do a search on the Mission DeFi podcast for the billionaire versus the community. I did a really long interview with two of the guys that were at the center of the battle against Justin Sun for control of Steam and why they created Hive from it. And it's a fascinating story of a greedy sack of shit that doesn't believe in decentralization, doesn't believe in community, wanted to just fuck all of these little guys and didn't care, didn't care, and tried to con the shit out of them. Now, I say all that. I gave Justin an opportunity to come on the show and he declined. So, fuck him.
Well,
so
they're not letting him out of the Chinese gulag, probably.
Yeah. Well, and look, if you're trading on Tron and making money, more power to you. I don't give a shit, but you're putting money in that sack of shit's pocket. Let that fucking chain die, as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, it's, look, it's overvalued. It's, I remember, I haven't really done anything there in over a year, but we were going in there once, trying to figure out, back when we were first trying to figure out what the Ethereum killers were back in, 2018. It was obviously on the list, like Stellar was, and Cardano, and I don't know, a couple others I can't remember. But, you go there and look, and the only thing I could see was people playing the dice game. Rolling dice. That was it. Nothing else. That was all their transactions. So they're advertising 4 billion transactions. It's just
that's
bots
just
rolling
dumping
dice.
4 billion in and 4 billion out.
Yeah. So, it's these guys, they're just hanging on.
Yep.
But one of these days, all those whales are going to say, screw it and dump both these guys.
Now,
I don't know. Whatever happened with ADA and their smart contract stuff? Did they ever get anywhere?
Supposedly it deployed. I just don't think anybody gives a shit.
Well, how many tokens they got? Like 80 billion or something. I mean, some obscenely large number.
Yeah. So speaking of which, this is so disappointing, and it makes me incredibly bearish on Near. Near is doing a partnership with Cardano to bridge back and forth liquidity because they're so desperate.
It's just the VC saying, "Get your shit together, do a deal with these guys."
It just tells me how desperate they are. If you're trying to siphon off those poor souls in that cult, into Near. Look, I get it from a business perspective, but it just, bleh, bleh.
Well, I think everybody's talking cross-chain bridges.
Of course, but why give a lifeline to Cardano, right? You could cross-chain with everybody else first. Why?
I would bet the big VCs and Near probably own big chunks of Cardano.
Probably.
My guess.
That's
or vice versa, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's A16Z, you know, Andreessen's in there with Near. So anyway,
but the Near stuff was, you know, they have good stuff. I mean, everything I talked to.
They have awesome tech, awesome UI, UX, great guys. You know, I've talked to them a couple of times, the founders. Awesome play, but you know, I'm not. That just feels like desperation to me, and so that makes me nervous.
This looks interesting.
So, So of course, I loaded this up just because of my buddy's situation. I haven't read this yet, but I want to check this out. I'm assuming it's not after the fact. It's only for people who've lost in the interim. But it's a smart contract rollup wallet with the ZK rollup based transfers, gas free, secure, and simple. Avoid gas fees and network congestion. Now, no seed phrases, no paper backups, social recovery. That's interesting. Combination of friends or your other wallets as guardians of your wallet. So I think it's a before the fact kind of protection. Like nobody else can make a transaction happen on that wallet because there is no seed phrase and there's no way for people to recover into it. And then you have to, essentially it's a multi-sig wallet, right? But they make it simple and easy for you to make your relatives have to approve a transaction or for you to use multiple wallets yourself to approve a transaction. So it may be the poor man's way to set up Gnosis without having to be a Solidity programmer. So very cool. I think it's a good move. Anything you can do to make all this shit easier for people to be safe is a good thing.
So does that wallet then work on all the chains? Is that the idea?
No, it's probably only Ethereum with ZK rollups. So it's probably only the shit happening in their world. But I'll check it out, and tomorrow I'll let you guys know what I see.
Cool.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this was interesting. Not shocking, and I think the number needs to get higher, but it's still nice. Survey says 41% of people globally say they trust Bitcoin over local currencies, according to Premise Survey. So that's good news. We're growing. Let's see. I got the IDEX thing load up because I want to look at it later that you mentioned.
Yep.
There was a great interview. It's on Twitter. Look at my feed, B05 Crypto. Please follow me. I'll follow you back. Feel free to DM me. DMs are open if you have any projects we want to look at. But Samson Mao, full-blown Bitcoin maximalist, did a great interview from El Salvador yesterday with this very, I don't want to say aggressive, but the reporter at the interviewer at Bloomberg was obviously anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin, and basically trying to tank him during the interview. And he did a fucking awesome job of just shutting her down. It was really well done. And this whole bond thing that El Salvador is doing, this is not it, by the way. This whole bond thing that El Salvador doing is really powerful, right? It only pays 6.5% on the bond, which is, I guess, market average. I'm not into bonds. But after 5 years, they start selling off the $500 million worth of Bitcoin they bought. So if you're a believer in Bitcoin and you think over that 5-year period it's going to be substantially higher in price, yes, then that's a really nice institutional play for somebody that wants to get a taste of Bitcoin, have a standard bond gain that they're going to get no matter what. They're 6.5%. And after 5 years, they start selling off the Bitcoin. So for the next 5 years, you're getting a dividend. And he labeled out that at $1 million, if Bitcoin gets to $1 million, that's a 90% gain annually on the investors who came in at 6.5%. So interesting model. I think it's brilliant. They're going to pay for this tax-free Bitcoin city. I guarantee you there are going to be a shitload of Bitcoin maxis moving to El Salvador over the next 6 months to a year. I'm sure they're going to do some kind of citizenship or visa thing for those guys so they can dump out of being an American citizen, which a lot of them will want to do. So I just think there's a lot of cool shit happening there. This article on Bitcoin mining in Navajo lands, creating jobs and revenues. But it also obviously shows how bad the economic situations are in a lot of the Native American. This is Canada, sorry, Navajo Nation in Canada. But look,
Wow.
Native Americans, Native Canadians, they without a casino, they don't live very well, and so. I like the idea of them making and supplanting their revenue with mining. So it's cool that this tribe is doing that.
Well, if they would do I've been through the Navajo reservation in northeast Arizona a few times. It's just east of the Grand Canyon, below Monument Valley, and west of New Mexico. That's all right for this. I mean, you've got hydroelectric power, you've got, geothermal, you got the fracking stuff.
Yep.
To me, let's just face it, these lands are not very prosperous for obvious reasons, and so anything that helps them. And I think just like with casinos, aren't the casinos, I mean, I don't have to get the gaming license, but I think they're all tax-free havens, right?
Oh yeah. And all the members of the tribe get a chunk every month, right? So it's a beautiful UBI, which can do the same thing in DeFi for the rest of the planet. So
so I'll go for it. That's all I got to say.
Bitcoin dominance dips below 42%. That's severe. I didn't realize it was trailing that far. I'm assuming this is, Phantom, Avalanche, Ethereum, Polygon. Everybody's
Solana.
Just chipping away. Solana. That's a really interesting stat, and the maxis won't be posting that, but it's still very interesting. Let's see if I have anything else. This is something I found in one of my feeds that I haven't even looked at yet, but fuck it, we're DGen, so we'll take a look and see what's going on here. Beverage Finance.
Ooh.
Leverage, fair launch token built on Protocol 2. Let's see what we got going here in
They deliver margaritas.
What's that?
They deliver margaritas.
That would be a nice touch, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
5 million. Oh, this is pretty new. 5 million under TVL. They won't show me the APRs without unlocking. I don't even know what chain this is on, so we're gonna find out together. I'll let you know. This is Ethereum mainnet. Seriously? Wow, that's not encouraging. Okay, load already. Not going to load. Well, beverage.finance, people, let me know what you find, because evidently I can't find anything.
Hey, back to the one before. I saw people talking somewhere mentioned. It might have been it was either in the Kingfisher or Material Indicators chats, but the talk of flippening again. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I think I certainly think that it's potentially could happen. I think though that the only way right now that it could happen is collectively as a whole, right? Because I don't think Ethereum is going to continue. Oh, holy shit. 1900% APR. Wow. That is a nice DGen play. I mean, the fees suck, but to get in here because it's ETH mainnet, but damn.
So what does it do?
The lowest APR, liquidity to leverage. So you're providing liquidity for lending. Damn.
So it's a lending platform. Okay.
That's what it says. What's this link A2X? So anyway, yes, I think it could happen, but I think right now the funds are getting spread out. Right. I think the price of ETH is going to continue to climb, especially the more ETH gets burned. So I think it's possible. And I'd like to see it. And I don't mean that from the perspective of an ETH maxi attitude, because you know me, I'm anti-maximalist. I'd like to see it because I want the Bitcoin community.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. I want the fucking Bitcoin community to wake up and realize that their puritanical kind of approach to Bitcoin is stupid. And there are some awesome DeFi platforms being built. Sovereign. What's the big one? No, I'm drawing a blank on it. What's his name? It'll come to me in a minute. It's one word.
The Twitter dude or the Foursquare dude?
Manib.
I see. Well, I don't know. I just have these links here. Stacks and DeFi.
Stacks. Thank you. Stacks. So Stacks and Sovereign. I interviewed Sovereign. Founder of Stacks has ghosted me on an interview that he said he would have. Sovereign is an impressive platform. Here's the problem. The purists are like, no, it doesn't count because not everything is happening in Bitcoin. It's a layer. And I'm like, look, people, if you want Bitcoin to actually be decentralized finance, actually be a part of the finance equation besides just a store of value, this is the kind of shit you got to do. So I would like to see a flippening because I would like to see them panic a little bit, right? And reassess their Puritan views of Bitcoin. And so, because I want to see those projects succeed, I want to see Stacks succeed, I want to see Sovereign succeed. I want a bountiful DeFi platform on Bitcoin, and I want them to be able to cross chain to Ethereum and to Solana and to Avalanche. The more we have, the better, because we're going to have eventually a shitload of people coming in, and these Bitcoiners should be making the kind of money we can make in DeFi on Ethereum. So anyway,
well, how do you think the maxis feel about like staking BTC on DeFi platforms?
Well, they don't like it because it's wrapped. It's not really Bitcoin, except for Badger and there's another one like Badger where, well, no, Badger actually gets wrapped as an ETH, represented as an ETH token as well. That's what they don't like. The Puritans don't like the wrapped shit.
Well, see, that just to me, when I hear stuff like that, it just, what was that multi-level marketing show that was on about Orlando and
God? What was that? That was great.
The word God in it or something like that.
Yeah,
was like,
something.
Well, that just makes BTC look too much like an MLM play to me.
Yeah.
It only survives with more people buying it and evangelizing. And that's like sleazy in my mind. So,
well, and look, if institutions are going to come in for Bitcoin first because it's the biggest brand, don't you want those institutions to be able to do institution type things, lending and borrowing and staking and investing on Bitcoin instead of jumping to ETH? Because they're going to jump to ETH. They're going to jump. I want as much competition in this space as possible. I want these guys all beating the shit out of each other to be better, faster, more innovative every day. So I think that would be the reason I would want to see a flippening. I want to see the Bitcoin guys go, oh, holy shit. You know what? We're losing out because we don't have DeFi. Let's support these projects that are working their asses off like Sovereign and Stacks to build something powerful as real financial tools instead of just buy and hold fucking Bitcoin. Right. So I hope so.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, if it happens too, I mean, everybody says that, I mean, even like Pomp says, oh, if Bitcoin just doesn't perform well enough, it's going to be the size of the gold market.
Yeah. Oh, shit. We have comments. Sorry, dude.
Oh, good. And it's like 10 trillion. So if there's a flippening of sorts, all of a sudden the whole crypto market goes from what it is now about, what is it, 2 trillion or something like that, or 1.6 to like 20 trillion.
Yeah.
So I think everybody wants that.
Yeah.
At least real quick, I do.
Nostro in the comments. What do you guys feel about nodes? Strong as a solid one, but too expensive with the ETH gas. A new one, Ring, looks like a scam, but if not, is a real gem. I want to ape, but 75% untrustworthy. You know, I've aped in those that I felt untrustworthy about, and I've also gotten burned, man. So, you know, be careful. I haven't done anything with nodes. We had the calculator guy on who loves Strong, who has made good money in Strong. Like he and his mom like own a ton and have nodes and are making some money on it. So I think there's value there. I just frankly haven't had the time to investigate it completely to really understand what the hell's going on there. But anything that's earning money from sitting idly, I'm all for. I vote yes.
Yeah, no. What about remember like a year or so ago, we were working on some stuff with what were all those node projects we were doing?
Masternodes.
Masternodes. That's right. Yeah.
So, you know, GoByte and those guys, we still own a shitload of GoByte. And they're actually trying to do some stuff in the DeFi space. In the DeFi space. Yeah, they've wrapped, you can now get GoByte wrapped, and they're starting to work on a couple of projects from a development perspective in the DeFi space. So we'll see if they recover. I'll be happy because we own a boatload. We bought a lot and watched it fucking bleed. So
yeah, never any fun.
Yeah.
I remember, the other ones, a lot of those came back though. So these always come back.
Yeah, we earned a lot of masternodes though too. So, you know, I'm hopeful. They're a good group of people. I like them. But anyway, the masternode market has died basically. The only thing really left standing is Dash. And you know, I have no idea what the fuck Dash is up to. They do have a big Latin American presence. People using it for payments, and that was always kind of Dash's play, was they were going to be the payments network. So, you know, maybe they'll survive by doing that, but I would assume that at some point there's somebody on that team's going to say, hey, how do we leverage this into DeFi? Now, there's another example, right? Dash is a fork of Bitcoin. So it would be in their best interest to partner up with the guys at Stacks and Sovereign, right? Because they're already the same protocol. They're already compatible theoretically. So why not do a partnership with a Sovereign or with a Stacks and drive that with Dash, right? So that has some potential opportunities for them, or they could fork one of those protocols. But Masternode market is basically a shit show and dead. So
yeah. No, I remember when it was starting to migrate that way, and I thought it was really interesting. But you know, everybody's trying so many different approaches, and you know, the solution is always some combination of everything. But anyhow, any other questions in there?
No, man, that's good. He said Nostro just said check out Ring. Strong is too expensive. Gala is doing great. So
I've heard a lot about Gala lately. I have heard
Nostro. We'll check all these out. Maybe we'll do a show Friday or where we cover some of this, or maybe next week. What do you think, Joe?
Absolutely. No, I mean, I haven't heard much. Yeah, I haven't heard much about Ring, but I have definitely heard a lot of people talking about Gala.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Also, I had an idea for us maybe Friday. Just for shits and giggles, brainstorm on some crazy ass token idea, and let's mint a token just for shits and giggles.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, absolutely.
Just for fuck's sake, and then maybe we'll launch the Discord we've been talking about, and all these folks in there, and everybody just come up with some idea for it.
Yeah, we do need to get those other channels up and running. I mean, Telegram and Discord.
I would rather do it in Telegram. Unfortunately, I'm spending more time in Discord. It's just such a shit interface, but that's where everybody is.
Everybody is there on a couple of my plays too, and so
I hate looking at it.
It's just too much clutter, basically, to me.
Telegram's
easier, but you know, at the same time, you got to go where the market is.
Got to go where the money is. All right, buddy. Have a great day. It's so nice to see you crystal clear and beautiful. You look fabulous, darling.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, my man.
I like making you uncomfortable. Have a great day, buddy. Everybody. Nostro, thanks for the comments. Everybody, thanks for watching. Please retweet, rate, review us in the podcast app that you listen to or on YouTube. We love seeing your comments. If you have projects we should look at, do not hesitate to DM me on Twitter, B05Crypto. Love you. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, day.
See everybody tomorrow. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, buddy.